Luke and Izzy, hello. Izzy, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, congratulations for what?
She got a new
I
job.
got a new job.
Ooh, fun, nice. Congratulations indeed.
Did you hear?
Yes.
Did you hear back about that other one?
Not yet, no. So
No.
I'm probably gonna move forward with
Hell yeah.
just because I got a job.
Helen says congratulations too.
Thank you, Helen.
Hello.
What's up?
Was that Helen?
Yeah, that was Helen.
Class got
Ah,
canceled
sweet.
because of the snow, so I'm home.
Oh heck yeah.
Hello.
Awesome.
No school.
Izzy, I don't remember if I told you, but there's like some kind of light or something, or some special light or whatever in our workplace that has the logo on it.
Ayo.
Yeah. So it's like I never noticed that until like the day after you told me about.
No, they're literally just everywhere.
Yeah. It's like
I
you
told my
don't.
parents, and they're like, "Oh, we know this company."
Yeah. It's like you don't notice it till you're told about it, and then it's suddenly everywhere.
They are freaking everywhere. They have a huge building in St. Paul that I didn't know was there until we drove to St. Paul this weekend, and it was like, "Oh, yeah, that's huge, and it's right there."
That's
That's
awesome.
one I'm working in, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm working in a smaller. It's like an engineering building.
Oh okay. Engineering building's pretty cool.
Yeah, it has windows.
Is that it has windows? That's more than can be said for mine and David's
And no
workplace.
slabs.
Oh, it's a prison. We have cinder block walls.
Yes.
Oh,
David, how
my
are
old
you?
coworkers did like a printout of like the prison, like the fence, and like put it on her cinder block walls that she would stare at.
Oh, good God. David, how are you holding up?
I'm chilling. I'm a little tired, but I'm chilling.
Yeah, I'm slightly tired too. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter meeting because one, Nick's not here, and two,
Go birds.
go birds. But no, mostly because we have two of us are leaving at around 8. Actually, wait, Luke doesn't have to pick Helen up tonight because she's home.
Class is canceled. Yeah.
Because class is canceled.
Oh.
So I guess if we're on a roll, we can keep going past 8, but we can see how we're feeling. Because I also kind of want to get Nick's thoughts, because it is the last batch of chapters from this first part of the story.
That's fair. What
Yeah.
chapter is this starting on?
This is starting on chapter 95.
95.
Yeah, this is the entire third of the story.
Oh, man, okay. I guess last time we met, one of my notes was chapter 88, fan service question mark.
Fan service.
But I guess if we're on 90, I don't remember what that was, but apparently fan service on chapter 88. I distinctly...
Important notes.
Let me...
Yeah, it was such an important note. I was like, you know what, this would bring a little bit of comedy to this channel.
Well.
Fan service.
Exactly. Now I'm going to go back to chapter 88 and just be like, what?
Why
did I put that?
That's in an earlier volume even that I don't have within reach right now, so I'm not sure.
88? Let me go back and see.
Bring in a little
We
bit
must all research this now.
Exactly.
I don't
What
know.
it-
Which panel do you think it is? I don't know. Let's see.
I'm looking through it right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it's Kaneki shirtless.
No.
Was he like taking
Like,
a
coming
shower or
straight
something?
out of the shower. Coming out of the shower, just in his shorts.
Ayo.
Yeah, there you
You can
go.
see those abs.
Hell yeah.
Ayo.
Bro's been getting jacked.
Yep, that was the fan service that I was looking at.
It's awesome. Well, we're gonna get some fan service in this batch of chapters too, in the form of Akira, right, David?
Yes, sir.
Did we? I didn't write any notes for fan service. Maybe I missed it then.
There's a part where she gets like drunk and gets a little too
Yeah.
comfortable in her apartment with Almond there.
Bro, she's a go, man.
Oh, right, that part.
Yeah,
Forgot about
but
that.
but that part's played pretty seriously because she starts crying,
Is that chapter 124?
something like that.
Well, the closest thing I can see to in my notes for that is chapter 124.
But David, I don't know about you guys, but David certainly has some strong feelings about the ending of this first part.
Mainly the
Oh, wait,
last
no,
chapter.
It's not chapter 124, it's after.
And I know
I
I'm not the
remember.
only one that feels that way, Kai.
What does Nick feel that way?
No, I've seen people online feel the same way I do.
Oh, so yeah, if this was like if we're talking like this ending as a standalone without the second part of the without the sequel series, yeah, I can see people being
Yeah.
pretty annoyed at that.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's why when I finished, like, a few weeks ago, I was like,
You're like, that's
am I
how it
missing
ends.
something? Where's the rest?
Yeah,
I was so confused.
definitely justifies the need for the sequel series.
Yeah, because, like, I feel like there's not very good closure for any of the plot lines, really.
Yeah,
That's literally what I said.
I was about to say,
Though, since we're talking about this, should we just, like, go back and start talking about the chapters?
yeah, or
Yeah,
we're
we should.
we're
We
going.
can start.
Yeah, we're going to first. So thank you for returning to the Expanded Bookverse, the book club that's more than just books. We'll probably get Cassandra here in a few minutes. But
Oh, wait, were we waiting? My bad.
we weren't
if she-
we weren't
she
really
doesn't always
waiting,
join,
but
so-
we're just kind of shooting the shit preamble, you know. Just talking. But let's see. So we're gonna talk about these last 3 story arcs as well as the post credits scene. Please forgive me. I am recovering from being sick, and the air is very dry right now. But before we jump into it, we have a little bit of an icebreaker for the week. You know, it's the Christmas season. What's everyone's favorite Christmas or holiday movie for this time of year?
Love Actually.
Really?
Yes, really.
Is that a good movie?
It's composed of a bunch of cute love stories. I'm not sure I am fit to determine whether something is literarily good because I am not that kind of artist.
I mean, that's
Um,
okay.
But
We were literally
does
talking
kinda-
about Napoleon Dynamite before this.
okay, I am not qualified to talk about literary mastery, but I feel like no, never mind. I'm thinking of something different. I was thinking of Scott Pilgrim, not Napoleon Dynamite. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Scott Pilgrim's good too.
I love Scott Pilgrim.
I was like, that is a literary masterpiece, despite me not being qualified to actually say that.
So you like Love Actually?
I like Love Actually. Part of it is nostalgia factor because I used to watch it with a couple of my cousins like every Christmas, where like we would carve out one night where like we're just gonna stay up till like 2 o'clock in the morning after everyone's gone to bed to just watch Love Actually.
Oh, that's cool. I love stuff like that. What about you, Izzy?
My favorite Christmas movie is Klaus on Netflix.
Okay, that
It
one.
is-
That's like it's like a 3D animated in a 2D style, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's really cool. I like how it's just like a fun telling of like a Santa Claus story.
Mm-hmm.
It's very original. I love it.
Yeah. Did it win awards?
I don't know.
Because I remember it either won awards because people loved it, or it was robbed of awards because people loved it and it didn't win anything. Yeah, no, that's a good one. I still need to watch that one.
Highly recommend.
Okay.
Minus the pop song. That's like my only criticism is like the really bad pop song in the middle of it.
Oh, there's a pop song in it. Is it
It's like a classic DreamWorks.
Oh, okay.
It's
Is
just
it
really bad.
like? Is it at least original?
Yeah, it's an original pop song. It's just not a good one.
Okay, because you know we see some of these movies interjecting like copyrighted music into their movies that don't have anything to do with the movie itself. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all.
Vaguely, like what kind of things are you talking about?
Like for example, we hear like Thunderstruck by AC/DC in like the Mario movie instead of
Okay, yeah.
instead of
right.
instead of keeping it to just the video game music.
I was thinking of
But Peaches is great.
Peaches is great. That one was original and it's fantastic.
White Chicks, where the one dude, I can't remember the actor's name, was singing 1,000 Miles.
Hell yeah. Or Terry
And it was
Crews.
the Yeah.
That's a great movie.
I was like, is that the kind of pop song insert you're talking about?
No, because that at least that has comedic value. When studios like in the Mario movie do it, it's because they don't have faith in the video game music to hold up on its own. David, favorite Christmas movie?
That's a hard one, but I'm gonna say more recent one. Office Christmas Party. It's a comedy.
Office Christmas Party. How recent?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that one.
2016.
Oh, okay.
It's just a comedy about like hosting work parties.
Is that Aniston?
Like a work Christmas party. What?
Oh, Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. I think it's just cool because, like, you know, especially we have a Christmas party coming up. Just like,
We
over
do.
the top exaggeration comedy is just funny.
Yeah. So we're gonna relive that, or we're gonna live through that exact movie during our Christmas party.
Bro. I don't know. We'll see.
I haven't seen too many Christmas movies in my youth, but I do love Elf.
I was like, Will Ferrell?
Like, yeah,
Classic.
like I know it's like such a classic answer, but
Nothing wrong with
that shit's hilarious. David, I was half expecting you to say Die Hard just to get that in there,
Not bad.
but you didn't, and I'm proud of you for it.
Come on, man. Die Hard is definitely a Christmas movie, though.
It definitely is a Christmas movie.
It is, dude, come on. 100% a Christmas movie.
All right, we're gonna start this plot, and we're gonna start with the raid on Kano's lab. If anyone has anything to say, just interject. All right, so chapter 95. We're presented with a flashback of Kuro and Shiro as children having fun with their parents at their home and talking about how they'll always be together. We're brought back to the present where we see Kaneki and company approaching it, the building now abandoned and overgrown with vegetation. Madam A brought them here, claiming it to be Dr. Kano's base of operations. While they search the house, Tsukiyama tells Kaneki the story of the family that lived there. The man and woman were killed and eaten by a ghoul while their twin daughters witnessed the whole thing. They are unsure of what happened to the girls after that, but suspect they might have become ghoul investigators. So Tsukiyama makes a comment implying that their world seems to operate on a spiral of revenge. What's your guys' take on this? Is it true what he says?
I mean, I feel like that's partially true, partially not, but I mean, I think that's just normal life as opposed to necessarily something particularly profound, because a lot of history's justification is from revenge stories. They invaded us, let's invade back. Let's, rebel against this particular society, this particular ruling establishment, because they've done X, Y, and Z.
Okay. So you do think that our own world might be similar to that and operate on that mentality?
Yeah, to some degree. Albeit, it's a pretty sick line, not gonna lie.
It's a pretty sick
It's very
line.
dramatic. I love those dramatic lines.
Yeah,
But
Tsukiyama, for all his faults, is a very dramatic character. After searching for a while, Kaneki begins to think that Madam A lied to them and smashes a wall behind her to scare the truth out of her. They find the wall behind the bricks that Kaneki smashed is made up entirely of RC cells with a long tunnel hidden behind it. Following the tunnel, they come across a section with water where one of Dr. Kano's failed experiments jumps out at Banjo. Kaneki kills it and reflects on how that could have been him that ended up like that. The group comes face to face with the one-eyed twins once again, and Kaneki runs ahead, leaving Tsukiyama to deal with them. However, we find that Naki is also here, along with his goons and Eto. I know he was introduced in the last batch of chapters, but we get to know him a lot more here. Does anyone have any general thoughts on Naki?
I forget who's Naki.
Naki is like the guy, the guy described as Yamadi's former right-hand man before he died, and he's the guy that kind of slicks his hair back and wears a white suit all the time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's kind of dumb, right?
My thought is, like, I think he's just kind of there for power scaling.
You think
to
so?
Be like,
kind of to be a foil for the other, for Kaneki.
Not necessarily a foil, but in shonen anime mangas in general, you always need like benchmarks to determine how powerful someone is relative to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of that is through the hype. But I think if I remember correctly, Naki is not that. No, I think Naki was like kind of strong.
He's about on the same level as Tsukiyama is.
Yeah.
Because like, he was strong enough to be Yamadi's right-hand man.
A little stupid, though.
Yeah. And so I think... Okay, yeah. So, and then I think that kind of gives the benchmark for like how much Kaneki has grown, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, well, Kaneki himself doesn't really fight Naki in the story, because the first time we see him, he goes off to fight Shachi instead, and he's already gone here, so he's mostly like, if he's a benchmark, he's probably a benchmark for other characters.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think this fight establishes the fact that he is on, like, Tsukiyama's level, who we have seen fight before, and has taken down girl's name, Toka?
Yes? Did he take
Yeah.
Toka down?
Because I think if I remember correctly, he escapes from this fight alive, and then I'm guessing he is going to show up in the future as someone like, oh, this person was at this particular power level.
Yeah.
That is my thought.
Okay.
I feel like I'm being very meta today.
No, it's okay. I like it. Izzy, do you have any particular thoughts on Naki?
Honestly, no. It's been so long since I've read that part that I'm like catching up and remembering that everybody's talking.
Yeah, that's okay.
It didn't stand out to me much, honestly.
Yeah, it's like if you don't remember him, he must not have stood out a whole lot. And that's kind of how he was introduced, to be kind of like, who is this character? But, you know, he's kind of endearing. He's not very smart, but that's kind of what's charming about him.
I would say he's, like, not very smart. Like, he doesn't really have good vocabulary, like, reading or writing, but...
No, he does not.
I would say, like, emotional wise... He's, I guess, very loyal to people.
Yeah, he's very loyal. Cool. He at least has a good heart, even if it's, you know, misplaced in Aogiri. Banjo runs ahead after Kaneki. Meanwhile, Kaneki and Shachi begin their rematch, and Kaneki gets offended that Shachi seems to be holding back on him. Naki begins fighting Tsukiyama, and Koro and Shiro chase after Eto into another room, where she starts laying the hard truth on them that Dr. Kano is only exploiting them for his own means. She leaves them and runs into Banjo, where she just casually rips some of his ribs out. Shachi gets the upper hand on Kaneki, and their fight is interrupted by Dr. Kano. Kaneki comes face to face with Rize for the first time since their accident. Dr. Kano explains why he's doing what he is. Quote by Dr. Kano here. Why do you think a caged bird can fly? It's because the cage doesn't belong to them. Who created this bird cage we call the world? That is the question. I realized a warped cage entangles our world. I want to destroy that. What do y'all think Dr. Kano means by this here? A warped cage entangles the world.
I mean, last session we talked about how I think from an ecological perspective, ghouls don't actually make sense as an existence unless they were like constructed or artificially added to the world somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And so from that perspective, like, yeah, this is a weird construction of a world where, ghouls shouldn't really feasibly exist and have civilization have been built and also have civilization built up to the level that it currently is.
Right. Do you think that makes ghouls the caged bird in question because they can't really escape the cage, or do you think everyone is?
I mean, I guess if I had to choose, I would say everyone is considered the bird.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he meant by that is like creating ghouls, kind of like traps humanity in like a state where humans and ghouls are like forever intertwined with conflict, and then kind of like that became like the cage, and then the humans and ghouls are like the birds stuck in it.
Yeah, it's like the part about them being intertwined specifically is pretty prominent. Like it's kind of like the meaning behind Uta's tattoo that we learned about later on, right? That translate to "I can't live with you nor without you." Dr. Kano also reveals that Aogiri tree was formed by a ghoul named Yoshimura. So we know now that that we finished the entire of this part of the story, like this entire half of the story, we know that it wasn't Mr. Yoshimura that started Aogiri, but at the time, how did this information change our perception of Mr. Yoshimura?
I guess for me it showed that like he had more to hide than I initially thought. Like
Mhm.
I thought he was just genuinely good, but we don't really know the truth still.
Yeah, it like definitely made us ever more curious about his full backstory. Because at this point in the story, he was still a very mysterious figure. While Kaneki is busy pondering all this, Yomo suddenly shows up, retrieves Rize, and leaves, warning Kaneki that the doves are coming. Kaneki rushes at Dr. Kano, but Shachi bats him aside, and he and Kano escape. On their way out, Dr. Kano unleashes a horde of his failed experiments on Kaneki, and Shachi tells him to know his weaknesses. This hits Kaneki particularly hard because he thought he had already shed all of his weaknesses when he fully accepted his ghoul form. So, to make himself even stronger, instead of fighting the failed experiments, he begins eating them. Though all the doves arrived at once, Juzo runs off and begins fighting the twins, who appear to have a history with him. Shinohara also breaks off. Amon, Akira, and the rest of them come across Tsukiyama and Naki fighting, who decide to form a temporary truce in light of their shared enemy. Quote by Naki here, "Let's front that united." Meanwhile, Shinohara comes across Kaneki, whom we now find in a form that we know, or that is referred to as half Kakuja. So what do we think about the design of Kaneki's half Kakuja as the centipede?
It looks like a straight up alien now.
Yeah, like with the mask and the tail coming off of him.
Yeah, like fully ghoul-like and very not human-like anymore.
Yeah, like what do you think a full Kakuja on Kaneki would look like? Given that this is only a half Kakuja.
I mean, judging by the name, I guess if it's centipede, it'd be like a full centipede.
Just like, bro just turned straight into a giant centipede.
Yeah, dude. Or you can turn into the Dune worm.
The dude worm.
Yeah.
Izzy, do you have any thoughts on the appearance of Kaneki in his half Kakuja form?
Oh, I thought he just looked really cool.
He
And
did.
also, like, he just looks so lost and just gone as, like, his human person side.
Yeah, because while he's fighting Amon in this form, Amon's telling him about it, stuff or like the last time they fought, and Kaneki's like, I don't know, I don't remember.
Yeah.
So it's like he's losing his sense of self while he's in this form. That was something I kind of wanted to talk about, is that because, Nick in the previous episodes has been talking about, like, Kaneki's mentally unstable. He's trying to hide it as best he can, but he's unstable. Do you guys think that this was the breaking point for Kaneki that Nick was talking about?
Probably, yeah. Well, my question is he still conscious in there? In the centipede form? Half centipede form?
That is the big question.
Yeah, I don't really know then. If I can't have the answer to that.
The answer is I'm not sure. Maybe I think he might be conscious, but he has like a very warped sense of reality. While in
I don't know if
while in
if
that
he's actually
form.
like fighting on consciousness or if he's just fighting on pure instinct and emotion.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know.
I'm
I
not.
thought it was more of other like all the other like lost minds and personalities from the people from the ghouls he's eaten were just like starting to surface um all around the same time, because like he already has like a mental persona of Rize in his mind, and that
Yeah.
was already shown in the torture scene. So it wouldn't surprise me if, like, I thought like he was losing control of himself because there are so many consciousnesses fighting for dominance.
Yeah. And that is something that we see is the case, especially like later on toward the end, because he, or after his final battle with Yamadi, he goes into the sewers, the underground tunnel system, and he sees those images of Rize and Yamadi in his mind, like they're trying to take over his body. So I think when he is in this half Kakuja form, he's those parts of him is making him more brutal in like his thought process, and the way he fights is like he doesn't hold back at all. Luke, design wise, do you have any thoughts on the half Kakuja?
I was flipping back to the chapters to be like, what does this look like? Um, Not really. I think it kind of shapes the unhinged. I feel like it matches the unhinged aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like he has a third eye.
Yeah, right in the middle. It's like a single circle.
And he's seeing other people's memories.
During her fight against Naki, we're shown Akira's new Quinque, a rare hybrid Quinque that's essentially a whip with a spike on the underside of the handle. Her father's kind of showing through, right? I don't know if y'all remember any of the dialogue that she has in this fight, but she's kind of calling Naki scum, calling him trash. She's like, I can't wait to make a Quinque out of you. The whole grudge against ghouls and stuff, and of course now we know that it's because both she lost her mother. It's confirmed. Like we previously speculated that Mato had lost his wife, but it was confirmed to us in this batch of chapters exactly what happened. We're shown a flashback to back when the twins were at the CCG Academy with Juzo, who was known as Rei at the time. We learn about how Juzo was abducted and raised by a ghoul, which might be why he displays such psychopathic behavior, such as killing a ton of animals around the Academy grounds, which at this point we know was not the case. And we also learn here for the first time that Mato's wife was killed in the line of duty. Do we kind of understand Mato and Akira better as characters now that we know that his wife and her mother was also an investigator that was killed on the job?
Yeah, I think for them, they have like a sense of avenging their
Yeah.
parents.
It's that spiral of revenge that Tsukiyama mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah.
I don't suppose their motto has been redeemed in our eyes, or especially not at this point, but later on, like if we take the entirety of these chapters as a whole, do we think that Mato has been redeemed in our eyes for being such a creepy character?
I mean, I don't think his creepiness is really the issue, because it wasn't like a bad kind of creepy. It was just like a unsettling, kind of creepy.
Yeah.
The bigger issue was the fact that he kind of took sadistic pleasure in dissecting ghouls and inflicting suffering upon them.
Yeah, it's like we kind of understand the source of that now, but it's like, do we forgive him for being sadistic like that? Izzy, do you have any thoughts on it? I know that Motto was a character that particularly disturbed you.
Yeah, no. I don't forgive it.
No.
No, he still creeps me out. I don't think, like, I mean, the experimenting is, like, I get the trauma, but I feel like it's a bad excuse. Just go to therapy, man.
Yeah, for real. During the fight against Juzo, it becomes clear that Shiro and Kuro are no match for him. Shiro gets really badly injured, and Kuro retreats with her in hopes that Dr. Kano can help. Realizing they're outnumbered, Amon orders a retreat, but the ghouls chase after them. Akira tosses a can of RC suppressing gas and attempts to kill Naki's goons, but Naki jumps in front of them and takes the blow. He talks about how he hoped to see Yamari when he escaped from Cockley, but he wasn't there. Of course, we know it's because Juzo had killed them by then. Quote, "It's way better to cry because of pain than cry because you're lonely." Do y'all agree with this?
I don't know. No.
I can see both sides.
It depends on the situation.
Yeah.
It always depends on the situation.
I agree with Luke on that. I feel like it's definitely
I'd say-
situational.
Yeah, I'd say like for pain, it's more physical and like immediate, right? And then loneliness is kind of like quieter and like it can build up over time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It depends what you think is worse, like physical pain or like mental pain. I
Yeah.
would say.
It's true. Anaki is a character that definitely prefers the physical pain. Like we're going to learn quite a bit more about him in Re, and he's going to be more, or you're going to see just how big of a heart he has later on. But are we starting to like Naki a little bit more than before? Because, before he was introduced as, like, this character that messed up Kaneki's plans, but now that, we're learning more about him as a character, do we start to like him a little bit more?
I think yeah, because like I said earlier, he has immense loyalty. So I always respect people who protect their people and respect their relationships.
Definitely. Naki tries fighting Akira and Amon without the use of his Kagane, but the gas is too effective and he gets badly beaten. Tsukiyama says that it's best that they retreat for now. Meanwhile, the fight between Kaneki and Shinohara continues. Though Shinohara manages a pretty clean hit on Kaneki, this only seems to make him more insane, and he lands an even harder blow. So it's explained that cannibalizing other ghouls so much often leads to madness, but do you think that this was the only thing that triggered Kaneki to lose his mind like he is? Because he does start to lose his mind quite a bit during this fight. Nick previously said that he's in a state where he's just generally unstable, and he couldn't stand the fact that he wasn't strong enough. But what do we think is contributing to Kaneki's madness here, essentially?
I think Kaneki still doesn't know what he really wants to be, ghoul or human.
Yeah.
And he's like afraid of losing the human side, but he doesn't fully want to embrace the ghoul side either.
Yeah, do you think he might be scared about embracing the ghoul side fully?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because he still wants to keep his human side too. So.
Yeah. Tsukiyama and Banjo's squad head back to Kaneki, but Banjo's squad wants to look for Banjo because they haven't seen him in a while, and says that he'll come with them if he's a friend. Just in case any of us were starting to think that Tsukiyama was actually turning into a good guy, he threatens them with their lives for questioning his loyalty. Banjo conveniently shows up, though having overheard what Tsukiyama said. Meanwhile, Amon comes face to face with Kuro, whom he actually recognizes, but he runs off with Shiro in her arms. He's then directed to Kaneki's location and finds Shinohara lying on the ground with Kaneki kneeling over him. Almond engages Kaneki in battle and asks him about the last time they fought, wondering if everything Kaneki had implied in that fight was all a lie. He also asks Kaneki why the priest, his foster parent, didn't kill him as a child, especially after Almond found out that he was a ghoul. Unfortunately, Kaneki says that he doesn't know, and he doesn't remember any of their previous fight. Juzo shows up, and together he and Almond overwhelm Kaneki. Quote, Almond says, "Are you sure you want to be just another ghoul?" Kaneki responds, "I don't want to kill anymore." And Almond says, "I know." What do you guys think Almond means here by "I know"?
I think from the previous encounter, Amon kind of understands Kaneki a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why I would say I know to like I don't want to kill anymore.
It's like,
'Cause I think he still recognizes the human inside of Kaneki.
well, he doesn't know that that Kaneki is a human. He thinks that he's full ghoul. He knows that he has a heart inside of him, you mean?
Yeah.
I think he's really kind of referring to their last conversation a lot.
Yeah. Like, the last time they fought, because that fight was a big turning point for Almond as, like, in his ideology.
Yeah.
Like, do we hear him say his old mantra of, this world is wrong, up in, like, any time before the very end of this story, in this batch of chapters? So, like, I don't think he says it at all.
I only remember it at the end.
Yeah, it's just kind of something that's echoing as the scene passes from character to character. Alma makes one last strike at Kaneki and they escape to get Shinohara to safety. Juzo is disappointed that he doesn't get to kill Kaneki. What's the meaning behind Alma letting Kaneki go instead of killing him, especially here? Does he still see the good in him that he saw back then?
I mean, it's not just about good, it's just about there is more to ghouls than he grew up or than he was like grown or indoctrinated with as a member of human society. The fact that ghouls can have potential humanity.
Yeah. And that much hasn't been shown to him until Kaneki, and that's kind of why it's hard for him to stop thinking about Kaneki.
Does Amon at this point know that Kaneki did not choose to be a ghoul?
He doesn't.
He does not. Okay.
Are we sure? Because at this point, didn't they talk about like, oh, Dr. Kano, whoever was running experiments with these people, or was that
He
after
does
this
know
arc?
that I would say he knows Kaneki didn't choose this, so he's not responsible for everything that's happened.
So we also kind of don't know. I don't think we know if Amon has made the connection that the eye patch ghoul is Kaneki.
Didn't he recognize that in one of the previous chapters?
Did he?
Like,
I
did he
don't-
literally call him eye patch?
No, yeah, no. He calls him eye patch, but I don't know if he knows that Kaneki and eye patch are one and the same.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know either. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I don't think he knows that those two are the same.
And, like, even at the end of the story, when Arima calls him Kaneki by name, it's also kind of, it throws you for a loop, kind of, because it's like, how does he know that? Because at this point in the story, I don't think anyone knows that Kaneki is the eye patch ghoul outside of Anteku and, I guess, some members of Algiri Tree. So Banjo and Tsukiyama come across Kaneki and he stabs Banjo through the abdomen. Realizing what he's done, Kaneki finally comes to his senses. Believing to have killed Banjo, he drops in despair, but it's okay, because we get our first look at Banjo's Kagune. He's an Ukaku type, as well as a fast healer. Quote by Banjo, "Kaneki, you've carried everybody's weakness. You had to become stronger. If anything happened to us, you blamed yourself. You carried it all by yourself, not complaining once. Isn't it hard living like that? I'll be alright, so stop blaming yourself. Before you save everybody else, I want you to save yourself. What does Banjo mean in the last sentence? Like, what does Kaneki have to save himself from?
Yes, you have to help yourself before you can help others.
Mm-hmm.
Self-help.
Yeah.
Is the implication that he's fighting too much for everyone else? Like, that he's, like, overworking himself?
I think
Yeah,
he's saying like stop blaming stuff for things he has no control over, like becoming a ghoul, hurting people, and not being able to protect everyone.
Yeah. Or even stabbing Banjo when he's not in full control of his mind.
Right.
So Shinohara explains to Amon that while the eye patch ghoul took a bite, he only took one bite out of his Kakuja Quinke. Amon scolds Juzo about running off on his own. Meanwhile, it is revealed to us that Dr. Kano has agreed to work for Aogiri Tree, the very thing that Kaneki was hoping to avoid, and tells Kuro that recovery for Shiro will be impossible since over 70% of her Kakuho has been damaged. And that was the raid on Dr. Kano's lab. And we will progress further with the decision arc. But first, what exactly is the goal, do you guys think, with Yomo saving Rize like that? And like later on, we know that he's been keeping Rize barely alive. But for what purpose do you think Yomo saved Rize?
Wait, Yomo saved Rize?
Yeah, he like showed up to Dr. Kano's lab, like in the middle of the battle, rescued Rize, and just left.
Oh wait, he wasn't working with Kano?
No, Yomo wasn't working with Kano.
Oh.
Or Yomo
Wait,
was.
who's Yomo?
Or Yomo's the guy who worked for Anteku, or like the really stoic, quiet guy.
Oh.
Goat.
The goat,
Oh,
exactly.
right,
I
that
see.
guy.
I think like he sees her as like being manipulated and used for experiments, and kind of wanted to like save her.
Yeah, I wonder why he just keeps Rize barely alive instead of like enough for her to regain her sanity. Because it's like he wants to keep her locked up. Maybe she's too strong of a ghoul to keep out in the world. Because that was kind of the problem in it, is that she went to the 20th ward because things got so... She made the 11th ward so crazy.
I think yeah, like for kind of what you said, like if Rize was like fully strong again, then she might draw too much attention to herself
Yeah.
and then be a target.
So, alright, we move on to the decision arc. What is the decision? The decision is whether or not Kaneki returns to Anteku. So we find Kaneki in self-loathing after the prior events of him losing his sense of self and nearly killing Banjo in the process. After a pep talk from Tsukiyama, Kaneki begins reading books again. Not martial arts books, but actual literature, and actually starts to find enjoyment in them again. What is this scene about Kaneki rediscovering his love for reading? What does it kind of indicate to us about him? He's kind of like learning to love life a little more again, right?
Yeah. No, I really like that. Like, I can really relate to it. Like, especially after college, where it's like all you read is college texts, and you graduate, and it's like, oh my god, I don't have to read as a chore anymore.
It's like, that's right,
this
reading
is
is
so nice.
fun. It's also kind of like he's kind of going back to the naturally more kind-hearted version of himself from before, like when he had black hair. Because beforehand, you know, we saw him, he was always kind of stoic, except when he was like in the presence of Hinami. But like now we see him like smiling and enjoying himself in private. Hinami walks in, and they make plans to attend a signing for Sen Takatsuki's new book. If you recall, that's Kaneki's favorite author. This will also be Kaneki's first public appearance in the non-ghoul world since before the Aogiri Tree incident. Meanwhile, Shinohara and Kuroiwa toil with the idea that there might be two owls due to the fact that its appearance in their most recent battle with it and the one from 10 years ago has some subtle but noticeable physical differences. Kaneki and Hinami attend the book signing and have a very pleasant conversation with Takatsuki. After they leave, Hide arrives to get the same book signed for Kaneki. During this conversation with her, she mentions that she wants to write a book about a ghoul. Meanwhile, Amon and Takizawa talk about the implications of some of what they saw at Dr. Kano's lab, such as that the connection between the gourmet and Naki. Amon invites Akira to come get dinner with them, and she actually accepts, much to Takizawa's protest. Takizawa ends up getting drunk, and Akira tells him that his hatred for her is nothing more than a nuisance to her. She also tells Amon that she does in fact blame him for the death of her father before passing out drunk. So we had previously speculated on that, right? We had come to the conclusion that we didn't actually think that she blamed him for Mado's death, most likely because of how well she kept her behavior toward him in check. But how does our view of Akira change now that we know that she does blame him?
I think the hurt is more so, like the hurt came from knowing that Amon was like the last person to see her dead alive. So, maybe she felt that Amon could have prevented it a little bit.
Yeah, and that she asks him that. He's like, "Where were you?"
Yeah.
I think she's just being petty.
You think so?
Yeah, 'cause
she
she was
Yeah,
drunk.
what you mean?
She's like, I want to be petty.
Yeah.
I want to lash out.
Yeah, and that kind of makes sense. And it's kind of supported by the fact that she never brings it up ever again. It's just like this one time while she's drunk. But I think that it does also kind of make her seem more human and less like a logical robot that she came across as before.
That's what I thought too. Like
Yeah.
she seemed like too perfect in my mind.
Yeah.
I think like having that scene is like, okay, like she actually has feelings.
Yeah, she expresses human emotion.
Wow.
Kaneki goes to Uta and talks to him about the new information he learned about Mr. Yoshimura and talks about all the questions he doesn't have answers to. Meanwhile, Amon takes Akira home and buys her things to help her with her drunken state. On his way out, Akira clings to him and starts sobbing for her dad. Amon uses this as motivation to get stronger and does 7,800 push-ups on her balcony until the next morning. So loneliness is like a big theme, especially in this last batch of chapters. It's a big theme in this story. What are the lengths that people will go to not feel lonely?
We know.
We know.
I mean, everyone handles it differently.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be either really radical or it could just be really small stuff, bro.
Yeah. The point is, people can often go to great, often drastic lengths to not feel lonely, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking like in the form of like a robot girlfriend or something like that.
I feel like that's pretty radical.
That is pretty radical.
Gosh. AI
Like-
therapy.
The more tame ones would be like hobbies and shit, but
Yeah.
that
Like,
yeah,
get
the
hobbies.
robots, you're cooked.
Yeah.
So cooked. Or the
Yeah,
shit they do in
no.
Japan, rent a girlfriend.
Oh
my
god,
God.
Rent a
I mean-
Girlfriend. That's a terrible show.
Sad, bro.
But they're like those
I heard
are
it's a real thing.
those are real services
That's kinda
in
sad.
Japan
Yeah.
in real
Makes me
life.
down bad.
It's like that shit's crazy.
I mean, these days, people are also using AI for companionship. It's like
Hey.
a topic I'm debating bringing up in my computing and data ethics class. AI as companionship, AI as therapy.
Yeah, I could see that being
Because-
a really
Oh my
good
God.
discussion point.
Mm-hmm.
So Uta begins telling Kaneki of the story between himself and Yomo. They both came from the Fourth Ward, where they fought until they actually got to know each other, in which they actually started to become friends. Yomo had a score to settle against Kisho Arima, who killed his sister, but when the time came, Arima was too strong for Yomo to handle. Before Arima delivered the final blow, Mr. Yoshimura arrived, rescued Yomo, and taught him everything he knew. Yomo began to eventually mellow out, and the rest is history. Uta also tells Kaneki that his neck tattoo translates to, "I cannot live with you, nor without you." So this story, it kind of likes to sprinkle in moments of Arima here and there, right? Did we get the feeling that the story was building up to something big with him?
I mean, I guess he was kind of like built up as someone who's like respectable and like feared because he's really strong.
Yeah, he was
But
always...
like that's kind of all I got from it, to be honest.
Yeah, like he's always talked about as this really strong figure in the CCG.
I think all I got from him is strong, hot, white-haired guy. Sounds stereotypical.
He is all of those things. So Kaneki decides to go talk to Yomo himself. Meanwhile, Tsukiyama takes Hinami to the cafe that he took Kaneki to so long ago. While Tsukiyama goes to the bathroom to creepily huff the same blood-stained handkerchief as before, Hinami runs into Sen Takatsuki, whom she talks to about feeling distressed about not being able to help Kaneki as much as she wishes she could. Takatsuki gives the honest advice that Kaneki can really only help himself at this point, as well as her contact info for Hinami in case she ever wanted to talk. Later on, we see Takatsuki show up at the CCG doing research on her new book. In exchange for information, Takatsuki tells Amon that the CCG purchased an RC-containing solution from the company that was run by Kuro and Shiro's father before he died. As Amon walks home, he thinks about the implications of this and concludes that the CCG must be looking for a way to manufacture ghouls themselves. So why do you think the CCG wants to turn humans into ghouls?
Maybe to be able to control them more.
Yeah.
Like they make their own, they can be their own soldiers. Again, I don't know about eating, but you know.
Because
we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, because the ghouls have been shown to be, for the most part, stronger than most of the CCG, or most of the ghoul investigators. Maybe they think that it'll turn them into the perfect army, or the perfect squad.
Or it could be the next step in human evolution.
It's true. So while visiting Yomo, Kaneki finally reunites with Rize. He was hoping to talk to her, get answers, and understand that power, or the power that, from his perspective, she had lent him. However, Yomo only feeds her enough to keep her alive, so all she can think about is eating. But Yomo reassures Kaneki that all the power he has was his own, not hers, and encourages him to keep moving forward with it. Meanwhile, Toka and Nishiki are out grabbing coffee beans from their supplier for Anteku. They run into Tsukiyama and Hinami, warn Hinami about being too trusting of Tsukiyama, and Tsukiyama questions what help Anteku has lent to Kaneki. Afterward, Nishiki gives Toka a short tour of Kami University before leaving to check on something in one of his labs. Toka wanders around by herself for a bit before running into Hide. Hide reminisces about growing up with Kaneki and tells her what kind of guy he was before he went missing. Toka remains determined that Kaneki will come back all right. This conversation between Toka and Hide, it kind of takes up, I think, a whole chapter. But what's the significance of this conversation between the two on a personal level?
I feel like they're trying to have character development and relationship built between Kaneki and Toka without them actually interacting with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still, like, is this weird, but to me, like, it's still this weird, uncanny thing of they weren't really on good terms before. Why are they all of a sudden on good terms now?
Yes, I think she just misses him. And so that's on the personal level. What do you think the significance is in light that Toka's a ghoul and Hide now works for the CCG?
I think he kind of knows that Kaneki may be a ghoul.
You think so?
Yep.
Or like
Wait, are we not at
At
that?
least-
Wait, was that not in the lab? Or
just-
in the lab did Kaneki hallucinate Hige being there?
that's the big question. Like
I
you're
thought
talking
that was
about
hallucination.
you're talking about at the very end.
Was it at the end? I thought it was in the lab.
He doesn't see Hide in the lab, but toward the end of the story, he's like wandering through the sewers, and Hide shows up. He's like, "I knew all along," but it's ambiguous as to whether or not that was actually Hide or an illusion put on by Kaneki's mind.
I thought
Oh,
it was
that's
an
fair.
illusion.
You thought it was an illusion?
Yeah.
I think Hide knows.
Because if it was an illusion, then what does it mean that that Kaneki wakes up and is healed and isn't starving anymore?
I was legit thinking that Hide like fed some of himself to Kaneki.
Yeah, it's like that's the implication.
Yeah.
But then we also get to the end of that entire operation, and it says that Hide's missing. So it's like, what actually happened there? That's the question.
That's fair. He could have just gotten eaten.
Yeah.
And maybe Hide will be in his mind, just like Rize is in his mind.
Oh, God. So the CCG holds a meeting with all the special investigators in which they decide that the half-Kakuja ghoul, now known as the Centipede, should be dealt with before it gets a chance to turn into a full Kakuja. They also make it officially decided that there are 2 owls. Meanwhile, Kaneki returns to Anteku and asks Mr. Yoshimura if the one-eyed owl, who is also the leader of Algidi Tree, is his child. Mr. Yoshimura recounts his entire backstory. He was once a ghoul, much like any other, but began working for an organization that paid him well and kept him well fed. One day, he met a human woman whom he fell in love with. Eventually, it came out that he was a ghoul, and she still stayed with him and even ate human flesh to keep their baby alive while she was pregnant. But the organization found out about her and had Yoshimura kill her himself. He left their baby in the 24th ward, where the organization couldn't reach. Years later, his child popped up as the one-eyed owl, so he also took the place of the owl as to not raise suspicion from the organization. Mr. Yoshimura then asks Kaneki to come back to Anteku. What do we feel for Mr. Yoshimura now that we know his full backstory?
I thought it was wild that his sort of wife just ate human flesh.
Right? Because that's one of the loopholes to keeping a ghoul baby alive.
It's giving Bella from Twilight and Breaking Dawn.
Oh, God.
You knew it was coming.
Is this right? This is right in line with something that Bella would do for Edward?
Yeah.
Oh, God. So Toka returns to Anteku to find that Kaneki had just left, but she manages to catch up with him on the bridge. Kaneki tells her that Mr. Yoshimura offered for him to return, but is unsure if it aligns with his purpose, which is to protect everybody. Toka scolds him, saying that he's actually that he's acting selfishly because he's just afraid of being alone. At this point, because of course we know now that he was in fact doing this to prevent himself from being alone. But at the time, did we think that Toka was right about Kaneki?
I mean, that's for every relationship between any person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we protect the people around us, whether emotionally or physically, because, we still want those people in our lives, and the world would be a little less lonely without that other person.
Yeah. Do you think it was as selfish as an act as Toka's making it seem here?
It's one of those things where, a lot of people only care about what happens to the people that they actually know, which is kind of a form of selfishness. Now, whether that's actually bad or not, right, that just depends on what your values are. Do you believe in kind of that altruistic, good for the whole of many? Or do you just believe in protecting your small circle of life?
Right.
And the people who believe in like, oh, we should be supporting everyone and being protecting everyone, right? Will think that the people who don't care what happens out of their small circle are being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also, where you get the saying that, my God, Kiko just licked my hand. And that's where you also get the, oh man, I can't remember the phrase, but it's like, if you let it happen, you're kind of complicit.
Oh, yeah. It's like a doing nothing is doing something kind of thing.
It like doing nothing, is also a form of evil type of thing. It's kind of a similar vibe to that.
So Kaneki reveals to the squad that he has, in fact, decided to return to Onteku. Also that he wants them all to come with him, to which they happily agree. So, do we think that Kaneki's decision to return to Onteku was the right one?
I think it was a good one because like it was the one place where Kaneki was like loved.
Mm-hmm.
So like returning means like he's returning to a place that accepted him
Yeah.
and people who cared about him.
And also, like, he left Onteku to go on this crusade to, one, learn more about himself, but also to to get stronger to protect everyone, so he didn't feel lonely, but the people that he was getting stronger for was all back at Onteku, and he hadn't seen them in, like, months. It's like, it's time to kind of spend time with them so you don't feel lonely. I'm gonna get to Akira a keychain of a cat because it reminded him of her cat. Meanwhile, CCG director Washu and special investigator Maruda report to the chairman that they have traced the location of the one-eyed owl to a small cafe in the 20th ward called Onteku and request permission to carry out an eradication operation on him. Which takes us to the final arc in this first part of the story, the Owl Suppression Operation Arc. This story arc, as well as Volume 13, begins by finally showing us Juzo's full backstory. As we recall, he was abducted by a ghoul when he was young, but what we didn't know is that his ghoul mother had him working both in the circus and as a scrapper for the upscale ghoul restaurant. His ghoul mother showed him praise by torturing him and dressing him up as a girl. One day she took this so far that she used a mallet to break his testicles. Not long after that, the Doves raided the ghoul restaurant and took Juzo into custody as a cadet in the academy. This is where he got his reputation as being a bit of a problem child, and we also learned that it wasn't actually him that was killing the campus animals, but rather an instructor. Afraid of the publicity from this information getting out, the CCG puts the blame on Juzo anyway. Later on, he meets Shinohara, and they've been partners ever since. So Juzo's backstory. How does this change our perception of Juzo? It's like we kind of know why he's so, like, messed up in the head, right?
Yeah. I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Fine. I think I could excuse that one.
It's like having your balls broken. That is an experience you don't walk away from.
That's what I was about to say. Like, in the beginning, we kind of see his behavior as kind of like quirky and like weird.
Yeah.
And then we realize it's more tragic, like getting your balls off.
Yeah, he's extremely unfeeling. Like, he doesn't... We see this throughout the entire story, is that he doesn't feel pain. Like, later on, he gets his freaking leg cut off, and he doesn't even feel the pain. And he doesn't feel guilt for anything at all. And that's why it's so impactful when he finally expresses sympathies to someone, and we're shown that he actually cares about Shinohara as like a father. So Shinohara informed Juzo of the upcoming anti-owl operation, says that they could very well die this time, and mentions that he'd be sad if Juzo died. Meanwhile, Takizawa is faced with the task of writing his last will and testament, something that all the investigators have to do before a huge operation like this. Every investigator has a different attitude towards this, but Takizawa is particularly troubled as he is very afraid to die. So what does having an entire chapter dedicated toward the CCG agents writing their last will and testament do for the story?
How serious this operation is about to be.
Yeah.
Like it's life or death, pretty much.
Like, it really shows us the weight of this operation. It really gives a final, like final story arc kind of feel.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's literally life or death, pretty much.
Oh yeah. Makes it totally darker. And does the fact that multiple CCG members have had to write these before kind of subvert the weight that it's trying to come across? Because, like, we see some of the more experienced investigators say like, oh, I've written one of these, like, multiple times. So it's like, does having that information kind of make it a little less weighted?
Yes, but still a lot of investigators die every time they do operations, so...
Yeah.
Like, only those real skilled ones are still alive, but... Like, a lot die every time, so... Still some weight to it.
And especially Takizawa's portion of this chapter, because, you know, he goes visit his mother and his sister right beforehand while he writes it. And, you know, he's, like, calm, cool, and collected when he's writing the first part of it, but then loses it and writes the words, "I don't want to die," in big letters across the paper. So I think that in itself is pulling its weight and keeping the tone very dark. So the CCG's Quinque engineer tells Amon that he needs more time building his new Quinque, as it is a very complex design that Amon's going for. Amon and Akira meet up in the cemetery, and Akira talks about how the upcoming battle is a personal one, since the one-eyed owl is the reason that her mother died, how she covered the retreat that the rest of the investigators, like her father, could escape. Amon tells Akira not to do anything reckless, and Akira attempts to kiss him, but Amon covers her mouth with his hand.
I was like,
bro.
where did this kiss come from? Like, I have a note on that kiss. That kiss was so left field, even though I kind of shipped it.
Yeah,
No,
like,
not
Because there
really,
wasn't
bro.
really that much development, and especially since she was like, I hate you a few chapters ago.
I disagree, bro. I said it from the first time we had this meeting that I kind of figured that she had a thing for him.
I mean, I shipped them from when I like first saw the two meet, but like I don't think, but just because like you could see it and maybe there is a thing like that doesn't mean there's like development for it.
Fair. Because she was doing the thing where like it is like, she acts the exact opposite of how you think someone who likes someone would act.
You mean like a 7-year-old?
Kinda, yeah.
she is younger. She is much younger. But it's kind of like a read
Is she?
between. Yeah, she
Isn't
is.
it like 18 and 21?
No, it's like 28 and 21. Amona is like nearly 30.
I don't like how that, like, her dad was coworkers with him. Like the age gap is a little better, but like not much. So it makes me slightly uncomfortable.
Which I think
For me, it's less the age gap and more of the fact that because he was working with her father, there's like almost some semblance of like authority and power that like kind of reeks of like a potential like Title IX issue if you were like an employee.
yeah, like it's a bit of an imbalance, right?
Yeah.
And
If
I
those
think.
two know, who cares?
Oh, do you think that's why he covered her mouth instead of letting her kiss him?
Or maybe he didn't even know what was going on, and he just kind of, I don't
Or
know.
maybe his first reaction is kind of like the gut instinct of like, what the fuck? Like, if like some random woman was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kiss you now, I'd be like, hold the phone?
Yeah, but this isn't some
What?
random woman. This is Akira.
Yeah, but like it's his coworker's daughter.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
he's
like
not-
one of my students, like, being like, I'm gonna kiss you now, and I'm gonna be like, wait, no, thank you.
It's like, oh no.
Like, it's almost that kind of relationship.
Yeah, kind of like it's like a mentor-mentee thing. But yeah, I still think that the build-up to this was substantial enough.
No.
Yeah, no, I would agree it's not.
I think it's kind of like a read between the lines situation because it's like we do kind of see her warm up to him more and more, but like I do think that we jumped a few steps before getting to this point. So Kaneki overhears two investigators talking about the upcoming operation in a cafe and starts getting worried. He reports his findings to Yomo, who reports them to Mr. Yoshimura, who makes preparations for the upcoming raid. Mr. Yoshimura also reflects on his time with Anteku, saying that it looks like his wish didn't come true after all. Kind of feel bad for Mr. Yoshimura here, right? Because we know that his dream was for humans and ghouls to live together, right? In harmony.
Yeah.
Do we think his wish will ever come true?
No, because I feel like as long as there's positions of power, they'll want to exploit.
Interesting.
That's how I see it. That goes with real life too.
Positions of power, like the CCG and Aogiri tree.
Yeah, like they'll want to exploit something. Like it's just how it is. Same thing with real life. Like people with power want to exploit people
Yeah.
with less power, and there will always be an imbalance. And that's just how I see it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
I think it becoming even is ideal.
I take your real world analogy, and then I raise you that this is a wait. Is this a shonen or seinen?
Seinen.
Oh wait, never mind.
If it was a shonen, yeah, I would agree with you that it could become, it could become like equals. Yes, definitely not.
So the night of the operation comes and immediately begins in bloodshed as Koma and Irimi don their former personas as the first line of defense for the cafe. It's not too long before Mr. Yoshimura joins the fight too. Kaneki prepares to join as well, but he and Ishiki have a long heart-to-heart, and Tsukiyama shows up and tries to stop Kaneki from going, but just isn't strong enough. Juzo joins the battle in the same way that he did in the battle against Aogiri Tree, by trashing Maruda's new bike in the process. Meanwhile, Toka wants to join the Anteku crew in the battle as well, but Yomo stops her, saying that getting her to safety will be his final job for Anteku. Irimi continues to fight off the doves, but becomes injured when she tries to rescue an old woman who never evacuated. Before they can land the final blow on her, however, Kaneki comes in to save her. He also managed to save Koma, who is even worse off than Irimi. They make a plan for Kaneki to go where Mr. Yoshimura is, before meeting up with the rest of them in Underground Route V14. On his way, though, he runs into Amon, who declares that he will not let him go through. So as Kaneki and Amon are facing off together, like, Kaneki's like, I don't suppose you'll let me through, and Amon says, not a chance. But he's smiling when he says this. Why do you think he's smiling?
Some semblance of camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically.
It's like he knows that this is the final showdown between the two, and that he might actually get his questions answered. Because at this point we do see a bit of brotherhood between them as they fight, and even after the fight, because Amon's like, eye patch, don't die. And after the fight, Kaneki's like, Amon, please don't die. And Amon's like, I'm not gonna die, that would make him a murderer. Before the fight begins, Kaneki asks Amon his name, and he answers. Amon hopes that Kaneki doesn't die because he wants to learn his story. As is, Kaneki beats Amon pretty easily, but the Quinque engineer rolls up at the last second, having finally finished Amon's new Quinque, a Kakuja suit of armor with a lance. Kaneki goes centipede as the round 2 is about to begin. Meanwhile, the fight against the owl proceeds onward, but comes to a halt when Juzo gets his leg cut off. Shinohara takes this particularly hard because he feels responsible, but Juzo doesn't understand because he doesn't feel any pain. The battle for Kaneki seems to be won as he cuts off Amon's arm, but it turns out that Almond was able to take a huge chunk out of Kaneki's side, much bigger than is able to heal quickly. Though Kaneki is initially concerned about Almond, he starts crawling away, needing to get to Mr. Yoshimura. Unbeknownst to him, though, Mr. Yoshimura has been taken down. The doves were able to lay a final blow on him, but the battle continues onward as the real one-eyed owl drops from the sky. So the doves struggle against the real owl, so much so that Akira's team must lift their perimeter and allow any investigators with quinkes to help in the fight. However, Takizawa disobeys this order, instead running off to look for Almond. Meanwhile, Kaneki escapes into the sewer, where he's being overwhelmed with hunger. Having both Rise and Yamada inside him, the three of them fight for control of Kaneki's body as the starvation takes over more and more. While Kaneki's busy losing his mind, Hide shows up and tells him that he knew he was a ghoul all along. He can see that Kaneki's hurt bad and wants to help, and asks him to fight with everything he has one more time. How many of us thought that Hide here is actually an illusion? David, you thought it was an illusion? Luke, did you think it was an illusion, or do you think Hide's actually there?
I think it's 50-50, but I'm leaning towards Hide was actually there. That's what I want to believe.
Just say what it was.
It didn't say what it was.
Okay.
I'm also kind of 50-50 on it. I'm
'Cause
not really sure, but I think it would be interesting if, like, he was going so insane that he sees Hide, and then he eats him, and, you know, he forgets about it and dismisses it.
right?
And later finds out he's missing. He's like, oh shit.
That would be so tragic.
It'd be terrible, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Because like how the events play out is that Kaneki's losing his mind. Hide shows up. The implication is that he either eats Hide or takes a bite out of Hide. When he wakes up, Hide's not there, and he's declared by the CCG as missing, and that's the last of what we know about Hide. So it's like one of those unanswered questions that will likely continue on into the sequel series. The doves are no match for the owl, who proceeds to sever Shinohara's leg from his body. Juzo feels despair for the first time in his life because he fears so badly that he's going to lose Shinohara, the one person he really seems to care about. So Kaneki comes to and makes his way through the underground tunnels, eventually arriving at V14, where he comes face to face with Kisho Arima, surrounded by the hundreds of ghouls he's defeated. So when we first see the layout and Arima here, the dead ghouls are originally depicted as flowers. Why do you guys think that is?
Kind of like, maybe it raises Arima to like a god level.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do we
It's
do we usually see god level creatures surrounded by flowers in manga and anime?
I don't really know, to be honest. I don't think I've read as much as you guys.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm not sure, but like it's plant life, and it's also just kind of like beneath him, right? So the imagery is like these ghoul bodies are as inconsequential, or these ghouls that attacked me are as inconsequential as flowers, right? It's no different than me stepping on an ant, but they want to show him with a, with elegance, right? So like one of those things is like, do you really think about the flower you step on when you're walking across the sidewalk, like the random dandelion?
Yeah.
And so it shows like his elegance and how nonchalant it is.
Did anyone think that Kaneki ever stood a chance against Arima?
No, because like I remember like Arima was kind of brought up as kind of like this undefeated investigator.
Yeah.
And not even like S or even double S ghouls could even
Yeah,
scratch him. Like he would just die instantly.
He's on like a triple S level.
I'm pretty sure like I think readers would pick that up. The fact that Arima was gonna destroy Kaneki.
Yeah,
He didn't have a chance.
I think so too. There's kind of a little bit of hope in there because he goes into it with the plan, even though the plan kind of goes awry, and he gets the upper hand pretty quickly, because literally the fight begins. Kaneki attempts one move against Arima, and the next time we see him, his eyes getting stabbed through. Luke and Izzy, did you guys think that that Kaneki ever stood a chance?
Like, in a way, because my mind is on like Naruto. It's like, oh, they could beat anybody. Like, this is great. And then you see all like the dead bodies, and you're like, oh wait,
It's like, maybe not. If only Kaneki had Taku no Jutsu'd his way out.
It's just something I'm not used to seeing, like a main character just losing in that way.
Yeah, and this is the final fight too
Yeah,
for Kaneki.
I think it's a nice shift.
Yeah, it's like it's not something you're expecting.
Yeah.
Honestly, it took me a while to register that he was Arima in the first place.
Yeah.
And like when I first saw him in the chapter, I was like, who the fuck is this person?
Also same.
Yeah, because we don't
It's
see...
in my note. I was like, who is this special investigator? I don't understand.
Yeah, because we don't see him throughout the story. He's only really brought up by name as like this godlike figure within the CCG. And like anytime we do see him before was back when he was younger and had like black hair before it all turned white.
And who knows, maybe he's not actually human anymore.
There's a theory.
Because like, I mean, to me, like it doesn't make sense because ghouls are supposed to be so much physically more strong, or so much more physically strong, and have like faster reflexes and stuff than humans. Like they're just a cut above in like every physical specification they're supposed to be. And so unless you're having like a full body Kinkai, you're not really kind of going toe to toe with that. And I feel like this kind of dissonance is something that has bothered me throughout this entire manga.
The difference in power natural power between ghouls and humans
Shouldn't be bridgeable that easily. If it was, it would have been one thing if Arima like was very clever and like brainiacking and like how he like stayed one step ahead of like Kaneki or something. But no, he was just straight up physically superior.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense to me.
I chalked it up to like a natural talent kind of thing. Or a lot of the characters that we see in manga and anime, like they're just naturally talented, like way above the where other characters are. So that's kind of what I chalked it up to. Juzo attempts to save Shinohara by fighting the owl himself despite only having one leg now, but it's no use, and he ends up passing out. Meanwhile, Kaneki attempts to catch Arima off guard, but he actually is very much on guard and stabs Kaneki through the back of his head and through his left eye. Kaneki begins losing his mind as his brain function drops from being stabbed through. Though he's able to gather it up a little, not nearly enough to win the battle, Arima defeats Kaneki and stabs through his other eye.
Wait, no, like this is the surreal, like they're like reading a haiku or something,
yeah, like Kaneki
poetry together or something.
Yeah, Kaneki like quoted, I think quoted a part from a book or poetry or something like that, and Arima's like, that's beautiful, and Kaneki says the name of the author that coined it.
For some reason, I thought in my head that Arima was like saying this poem. Oh wait, no. Now that I'm rereading it, oh no, he's saying this poem to calm himself down to maintain control over his mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was a back and forth between them.
That part is kind of.
We both read this poem.
Yeah, it's like that part is both kind of is kind of confusing. I will give it to you. Like I wasn't really sure what was happening while he was quoting the poem. So Kaneki sees moments of his life flash before his eyes, of his mother busy working, and realizes that he ended up overworking himself, trying to protect everyone, just to make sure he wouldn't be lonely. He comes to the conclusion that he and his mother were no different. He also comes back to the accident that caused all this, and it's revealed to us that the person responsible is that ghoul in the clown mask from Aogiri Tree, whose real identity we still don't know yet.
Wait, what is the clown person? Like that came out of nowhere, and I was like, who is this?
Kind of issue with that, or how that scene transpires, is like, why would Kaneki know that it was this character in the last moments? Why does he know now that it's this clown person, like, all of a sudden?
Wait, is the implication that Arima is the clown?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he could potentially be the clown, but I personally don't think that's the case.
Did he see him during the Rize incident where she got crushed? Was it then?
Yeah, like, the implication is that he saw him during the incident, but his mind, like, pushed it in the back of his mind because of, what is the medical term for it? I don't remember the medical term for it, but it's like, you forget what happened in, like, the moments before passing out or something, like experiencing a large amount of physical trauma. It's like you're not of sound mind or something like that. But yeah, I also was very confused about that.
Okay.
It's like, personally, I think it was kind of tacked on. It felt kind of tapped on, like it didn't have much purpose being there. Just like, oh, we have this question answered now.
It just feels a little like this is like my one criticism at the end. There's just so much going on that adding that random detail, it doesn't, like, it's probably going to be important later, but like right now I'm reading it, I'm like, what is this? And I just forget about it and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. The imagery that we see with the white-haired and black-haired Kanekis embracing each other, what do you guys think that's meant to represent? Because, like, before when he still had his black hair, he was trying to lean way more into his human side, and then afterward, when his hair turned white, he went all in on the ghoul side. Maybe them embracing before his mind finally bleeds out is meant to represent them finally coming together as one and embracing each other together.
I can see that. I just don't know too much, to be honest. But yeah, I can see that though. What you said, I believe that.
Okay.
Or it could just be him accepting his flaws as a human.
Oh yeah, like his desire to not be lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So our final shot of Kaneki is him lying on the tunnel floor, both of his eyes gouged out. Takizawa manages to find Amon, but before he can get him medical attention, Tatsura and other members of Aogiri show up. Takizawa attempts to subdue them, but Tatsura easily feeds him to Noro. Amon begins to fight Tatsura, but we never see the end of this battle, nor do we see Amon again. Meanwhile, the doves continue to get their asses kicked by the owl until Arima shows up for the save, and he does manage to turn the tide, for though the one-eyed owl puts up a great effort, Arima is just too powerful. The owl is forced to retreat and swallows Mr. Yoshimura. Once to safety, the owl throws up Mr. Yoshimura and reveals itself to be Eto. Eto greets her father warmly, and it's revealed to us that Eto, the one-eyed owl, the founder of Aogiri Tree, and Mr. Yoshimura's daughter, is none other than the author Sen Takatsuki. Later on, we're shown the outcome of the operation, with Shinohara in a coma, Amon and Takizawa declared as deceased, and Hide declared as missing. Investigator Misato yells at Akira for seemingly being so calm about Almond dying, but her professional veneer slips and she begins tearing up. The scene changes to Dr. Kano, Tatsura, and Eto making preparations for their next big move. We're also shown scenes of Naki, Shachi, Ayato, and Uta, all while Almond's mantra of "this world is wrong" echoes throughout the pages. Juzo meets Shinohara's wife and apologizes for the state he's in, expressing guilt for the first time in the story. The chairman tells Arima and Washu that it will be up to them to develop what they've acquired. So what do you guys think the chairman is referring to? As in, what have they acquired?
They can decide what they want to do with the ghoul power that they acquired.
The ghoul power, like
That's
the
what I think.
like the solution from earlier in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yomo tells Toka that it's time to go, and Toka gets the last word here, expressing that she believes that Kaneki will return one day, and that when he does, she'll have a place for him to come back to. So, David, you said that you're not a fan of this ending.
I say, yeah, I think it's not that great because, like we were talking about, like Arima, really no character building. He just came in as really OP and just kind of killed Kaneki without like a really good battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a really quick battle.
Right. It wasn't even a battle. Arima just kind of killed him. And then a lot of not foreshadowing, but like ambiguous stuff at the end.
Yeah, it's like ambiguous stuff meant to roll into Tokyo Ghoul Ch.
Right. So I feel like a mix of those things that I just said kind of make the ending kind of shit for this.
Yeah, because we kind of like our endings to be at least somewhat conclusive, which I guess it's conclusive in some ways, but it kind of raises more questions and leaves some questions that were already there kind of unanswered.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes we like
It's a literal cliffhanger.
yeah, say a cliffhanger. Lots of cliffhangers.
Yeah.
It's like getting us interested for the next part of the story.
I also feel like a lot of important characters that we saw got barely any attention or closure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we hardly see Toka in the second half of the story, right? Because she was a big she was a big character back before the Aogiri Tree operation, and she was big in that arc too. But after that, she's just kind of focusing as much as she can on school, which good for her. But you know, she's badass, and we like to see her be badass. We have a little post-credits scene here. Akira talks to her.
I gotta go, Kai, but
You gotta go?
yeah. Thanks, everybody.
All
Thanks
right.
on the flip.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah,
Peace,
see-
David.
Yeah, see y'all.
All right, we're almost done here. So Akira talks to her father's gravestone, expressing that she became a rank 1 investigator, that she's been put on a special anti-Aogiri task force led by Arima, and that Arima assigned her to be a mentor for a new recruit. Suddenly, said new recruit approaches and introduces himself as rank 3 investigator Sasaki. What do we think the purpose of this post-credits scene is? Obviously, it's meant to lead into Tokyo Ghoul Ch, but having specifically these events in this post-credits scene as the lead-in, what do you think it's trying to do?
Well, part of it feels like we're introducing like a potentially new main character aside from Kaneki. It might also partially be representative of the start of a new cycle. Because Amon like was, the mentee to Mato, then became the mentor to Mato's daughter, and then now she like becomes the mentor to this new person who, like, just from like a Japanese culture perspective, you can tell that this person is like probably fairly pure, and
Mhm.
respectful because he does the full 90-degree bow.
Yes, he does. But yeah, that is Tokyo Ghoul. That is the first the first part of the first half of the Tokyo Ghoul story. But that does end the original run of Tokyo Ghoul. So as a whole, what do we think of this first half of Tokyo Ghoul?
So like I really enjoyed like the first half.
Hmm.
Honestly, before Toka disappeared.
Yeah.
Like kind of from like that point on, it was just kind of maybe not the Giri tree part, like that part was awesome. It was just that's specifically like this set of chapters. I was just very confused of what was going on,
Yeah.
especially like near the end. It was just so much plot getting thrown at you in such a short amount of time
Yeah, it's
that I think
true.
it could have been paced a little better.
Yeah. Not only that, but
Like,
like this kind of ties back into something I was saying in the last with the last set of chapters. Is like sometimes the paneling for the action is hard to follow along with.
yeah, definitely. I was like, as we were in this meeting, I was like re-looking at like the one-eyed owl fight with
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but sexy glasses man. Um,
With Arima.
yeah. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Who is he eating? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it just it's very rushed at the end and you can kind of tell.
Yeah,
But
it's
I'm also
like
wondering like how soon Re came out after
I'm
this
pretty
ended.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it was like really quick. Like
Okay.
we're talking
It makes me
like
feel a little better about it.
we're talking like maybe a 6 month break, if not
Okay, that's very reasonable.
yeah, if not like later in the month.
Okay, that makes it a little better.
Yeah.
I would have hated if it ended like that and it's like, well crap, I have to wait, you know,
Like a few years to
not a
see
amount
this
of
stuff
years.
come to fruition.
Yeah.
This is probably not the typical genre of manga that I typically read.
Because you usually read shonen, right?
I usually read shonen or romance,
Okay.
um,
Lay.
This is
or
neither one of
fantasy.
those. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is none of those.
but it being a seinen, I was kind of expecting like there is definitely some gritty and real. You know, I'm probably just stuck on the fact that this power scaling between ghouls and humans doesn't make sense unless they reveal Arima to be like actually not human or something.
Hmm.
Like things just don't add up for me.
Yeah. It's like, so you like consistent power scaling then?
Not just consistent power scaling, but also like the ecology of the Tokyo Ghoul verse doesn't really make sense, or I don't see how that society could kind of form uh, when there's like clearly superior predators, and the only reason why humans were able to outperform them was because of technology. But if ghouls had existed since at the same time as humans as their natural predators, like
Hmm.
that kind of technology is not as likely to have formed, or civilization would have grown up to be a very different place where ghouls would have been at the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Like even if they were severely outnumbered, like it's not.
It's like they would have hunted humans into extinction pretty much, right?
No, they would have probably farmed humans.
Yeah. Or yeah, farmed humans.
Um,
Oh my God.
Because yeah, they would either like hunted humans to extinction, or they would have farmed humans, and like the societal structure where humans remain the predominant species wouldn't have really stood.
So you're kind of thinking about the inner workings and how a world like this comes about.
Yeah,
But beyond that, how the story itself is presented here. Do you have any particular thoughts on that?
that's all right.
It's all right.
I mean, like I mean I think periodically like I've mentioned throughout like there's a lot of like sometimes there's good character development, but a lot of time there is lacking character development or things coming like straight out from left field without much exposition or build up, which
Hmm.
I think is kind of indicative of potentially bad storytelling.
You're right.
That's my thought too. Like I feel like I could benefit from reading it again and being all the way done and be like, oh, this is where like this like hint came from and that's
Yeah.
why it's here. But starting out, it's kind of tough.
Yeah. It's like, because you're trying to keep track of so much on a first read through. It's like, oh, there's this reveal, and oh, that reveal actually isn't the case.
And I think with it being that frustrating, like I don't know if I'm gonna want to reread it.
Yeah. And it's a very, like, interspecies, politically driven story. Because we're talking about the dynamics between these two groups. And, like, that especially in the second half of the story is the driving force for pretty much everything that's happening. Kind of how the story progressed. And it's going to progress even more in the sequel series. So hopefully we'll get answers to all of these questions that the last volume did not answer.
I hope so.
Yeah, but that was Tokyo Ghoul, and that was all I had on the story.
Righty. Well, I hear the Eagles starting to play, so I'm gonna
Oh, right
hop
on
off and watch
time.
that.
Right on time. Let's go.
Alright.
It's exciting.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me for this discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, had a lot of fun.
Thank you.
So we will meet up next time.
Alrighty.
See ya.
Alright, bye.
Good night.